And we're joined now by Naia Butler-Craig. She's 25 years old, working towards her PhD in Aerospace Engineering. When she's not working towards her degree, she's posting about aerospace engineering to her tens of thousands of TikTok followers on her account, Astro Naia. Naia Butler-Craig, it's great to meet you. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
We're thrilled to have
thank you for being here. So, as I just said, my first question, because I'm someone who had to take physics for poets, because I really couldn't do anything having to do with math or science, but I really don't know. What does it mean to be an aerospace engineer? Does that mean you're going to be building rocket ships? Is that what that is?
It's exactly that.
So are you a rocket scientist?
It sounds cliche and funny, but yes.
So, there is such a thing as a rocket scientist.
Apparently.
We have her right here. We've just met her. So
Yes,
that means you study how to do these things.
Yes, ma'am. Right. We study. We try to optimize those vehicles so that we can use them for a long amount of time. And aerospace tends to be divvied into two different sections. So there's things concerning our airspace and things concerning outside of our airspace, in space. And so my focus is actually in astronautics, which is the space industry.
Wow.
You know,
would you ever want to be in space?
I do. One of my life goals is to be an astronaut, actually.
Oh, my gosh.
By the way, Naia, I knew Marjorie was going to get this off track. As soon as she saw what you did, I knew this was going to happen. I want to get back. Michael Curry, who's on the national board, who's on our show every week from the NAACP, has been talking about AXO, I would say almost every week in anticipation of this convention for weeks, if not months.
Wow.
Start at the beginning, though. What is AXO and what's the goal? What's the intention?
To be honest, this is my first time being involved with AXO, so I was really, really confused when I got asked to be on the panel. But from what I've heard is exactly what you said. There's some brilliant, brilliant students, the next generation here. They're coming up with all kinds of different technological things, and they're here to present that and compete to win. I don't know what they win specifically, but I know for the STEM Innovation Lab that I'll be speaking in, our goal is to continue to encourage them to seek STEM opportunities and STEM careers after their youth, because it's so ripe right now, and I think that brilliance is what we want to continue to feed to society.
You know, to stay in the STEM or STEAM world, whatever acronym you want to use, we've talked a decent amount through the last couple of years about how the discrimination against women in those. How are people of color, young people of color, welcomed, if at all, in that realm?
I would say it's definitely improving. I started my undergrad career back in 2015, and so I mean, it's been almost night and day to what I've just kind of witnessed as far as numbers go, and numbers of black women and black people in this aerospace industry specifically. Even when I started grad school, I was one out of like 600 in the grad program in aerospace engineering. Now I think I'm 7. There's 7 of us now. And
wow.
So it's a creeping thing, but my biggest kind of message about recruiting black talent is to make sure that you can retain it. And so what we tend to have is you have recruitment without retention, and you are bringing people into systems that don't support them, and that breeds burnout, that brings people leaving the field, and I believe that's one of the biggest challenges right now is facing black students.
You know, can we talk about that growth in numbers for a second?
Sure.
Describe the feeling when you're the one, as opposed to you're surrounded by people who are like you in an industry, in an area that you care about. What's that feel like?
My goodness, being the one is extremely isolating, as you would imagine, not just because the work is hard, but because the interpersonal relationships are also hard, and you don't know how to navigate those a lot of the time, especially I'm a first-generation college student, and so I came into completely new territory. But the first thing I did in undergrad was join NASB, which is the National Society of Black Engineers, and that's where I got introduced to all the other people that look like me in the field. And when I tell you that made, oh my God, a world of difference, just because I had somewhere to fully be myself. And when you're the one, you're afraid of doing that. You think you have to assimilate and conform to what you think a scientist should look like. But when you see people that look like you can really let loose and just be yourself and also do hard technical work.
Well, you know, we introduced you. You have a lot of TikTok followers, tens of thousands actually. And what you're posting about is aerospace engineering. So if you get tens of thousands of people, there's a lot of interest in what you're doing.
Absolutely. I would say people are definitely interested. Like, we've never had I don't think black students have ever not had an interest in the space industry. It's just been a matter of opportunity and access. And so that's why I post a TikTok, is to, one, show that I'm tangible. I show you everything I've done to get to this point. So if you want to follow it or take it as a guide rail, then do so. And I think that's really the grab as far as my platform goes.
And we should say, too, Axos, a lot of these students are competing for scholarships and other awards, but it's not just STEM, it's humanities, it's essay writing, playwriting, drawing,
Cooking.
filmmaking. Yeah, so it's the full range of kind of things that people can do. How fun is it to talk to some of these kids?
Oh my goodness, it's eye-opening, one, just because their ideas and their worldview and vantage point makes them so valuable to the technological industry, because you have to stay fresh to stay on the cutting edge of technology, and they have such fresh perspectives. And I just love hearing from young people who are interested in STEM, because they will think of something that is totally different from what we're used to, what it's totally different than like what's traditional or status quo, and it can answer some really hard problems in engineering and science. So it's enlightening.
We're talking to Naia Butler-Craig. I'm going to go back, I'm going to fall prey to what Marjorie started with, describing your skills. In your bio, listen to what her research is, Marjorie.
Yeah, I saw
I want you to
it.
explain
Oh my God.
this. Her research, this is Naia's research. Naia's research involves characterizing the electron energy distribution function at the inner front pole cover of a magnetically shielded Hall effect thruster with a with a centrally mounted cathode using laser Thomson scattering. Is that a fair description of what you do?
That's exactly what I do.
You know, before you go, I read that you're a GEM fellow at the Georgia Institute of Technology. You living in Georgia now?
I do, yes, sir.
What is the anticipation of, most of America is waiting to see what Jack Smith, the special counsel, does vis-a-vis the January 6th insurrection and what happens with Trump. And obviously Fani Willis, who's the DA in Fulton County, is apparently readying a pretty major, broad set of indictments, not potentially against just Donald Trump, but of some of his allies as well, for early August. Is that the talk of the state? I mean, what's it like in Georgia right now with this thing ready to explode, I think?
Absolutely. I'm not in those conversations as far as the politics goes. Honestly, one of the biggest things I've been passionate about is getting more pay to grad students. That's kind of been my focus.
They need more pay. They need more pay.
But, I mean, I'll speak for myself as far as what I'm excited for. I think it's absolutely necessary, and I'm excited to see justice be served, for sure.
Naia, you're terrific. It's really great to meet you.
Thank you.
I hope this AXO thing is as great as it sounds like this week, and thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
You know what else? I thought the rocket scientist thing was a joke. Now we can say we've
not
met
at all.
someone who's actually a rocket scientist, and I can tell everybody all about this. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so
Be
much
well,
for
Naia.
having me.